The strange signal. Space. Cold. Quiet. Empty. Raymond sat alone in the pilot seat of his small cargo ship, the Rust Runner. His job was boring, moving crates of supplies from one space station to another. No crew. No noise. Just him and the sound of the ship's engines humming. He was used to silence. He even liked it. But today, something was wrong. A soft beep broke the quiet. Raymond looked at the control screen. A signal was coming through, faint, weak, and not from any known station. Strange, he whispered, adjusting the controls. The message repeated again. A voice, soft, almost a whisper. Please, Master, take me. Raymond blinked. What the hell? He replayed the message. The voice was not human. It had a strange rhythm. Smooth, clear, but sad. It didn't sound like a machine. It sounded like someone afraid. He checked the coordinates. The signal was coming from deep space. No planet, no ship, no colony nearby. Just a small dot, like a piece of space trash drifting alone. Raymond should have ignored it. He didn't. 20 minutes later, the Rust Runner slowed down near the source. Through the glass, he saw something floating. An escape pod. Old, damaged, barely holding together. He locked it with a tractor beam and brought it into the cargo bay. As the airlock sealed, his heart beat faster. Raymond wasn't scared. He was curious. Curious like a man who just opened a door and heard something breathing on the other side. He walked into the bay with a hand on his laser cutter. The pod door hissed. It opened slowly. Smoke and cold air spilled out. And then he saw her. A figure sat inside, thin, small, silver-skinned. Not metal. Not human. Alien. Her eyes were large and glowing softly like pale blue fire. Her head tilted slightly as she looked at him. Raymond stepped back. Who are you? The creature stood slowly, weakly. She almost fell but caught herself. Then she spoke. I want you to be my master. Her voice was calm. Not like the message, this time it was steady, soft, clear. Raymond's mouth opened but no words came out. He stared at her, stunned. Master? He repeated. No. I'm not your master. I don't even know you. The alien looked confused. Her eyes blinked. Then she stepped forward, closer to him. I sent the signal, she said. You answered. That means you have claimed me. Raymond frowned. Claimed you? I didn't claim anything. I just picked up a signal. The alien lowered her head. That's how it works. I was made to respond to the first mind that hears me. You were made? Raymond asked. You mean like a robot? She shook her head slowly. Not robot. Not machine. I was born, grown, created by the lost ones. Raymond didn't understand. None of this made sense. He looked at her again. No wires, no armor, no weapons. Just a living, breathing creature. And scared. He sighed. Okay, listen. You're safe now. Whatever happened to you, I'm not going to hurt you. You can rest. She looked up again. There was a strange shine in her eyes, hope, maybe, or fear. She whispered, I don't want to be a slave again. Raymond froze. What did you say? She stepped closer and this time, her voice dropped to a whisper, like a secret meant for only him. You're not a property, so you cannot own me, but they don't care. If they find me, they'll try to take me back. Raymond felt a chill, not from the cold air, but from her words. Who are they? He asked slowly. The alien didn't answer. Instead, she looked at the stars through the window. They're already searching, she said. They always are. Raymond didn't sleep that night. The alien, who hadn't told him her name yet, rested in the medbay. He watched her from the control room, thinking, who was she? Why did she call him master? And who were these they who wanted her back? Raymond was just a cargo pilot. He never signed up for this. But something inside him said, this isn't just a rescue. This is a beginning. He looked at the blinking star map, and then at her sleeping behind the glass. This wasn't over. It had just started. Space was still. But inside the ship, something was changing. Raymond dreamed of fire. Blue fire. He stood in a burning city, not Earth, not anywhere he knew. Skies were purple, towers were melting, and above him, giant ships hovered like hungry vultures. A voice echoed, "Find me, or lose yourself." He woke up with a sharp gasp. Lights flickered inside the Rust Runner. Everything was quiet, but the feeling wasn't. Something heavy pressed against his chest. An invisible weight. The kind you feel in bad dreams. Raymond shook his head and walked to the medbay. She was sitting up now. The alien girl. She was staring at the wall, silent, still, almost like a statue. But when he entered, she spoke. "You had a dream," she said softly. Raymond stopped. "How do you know that?" She turned to him. "Because I saw it too." His mouth went dry. "What are you talking about?" The alien placed her hand on her chest. "We are bonded now. Not fully. Not forever. But the signal connected us." Raymond stared at her. "That doesn't make sense." "No," she said. "It doesn't. But it is true." She finally told him her name. Kayla. She said she was from a race created long ago by an empire called the Zeroin. The Zeroin were gone now, dead or disappeared. But what they left behind still hunted. Raymond listened as Kayla explained. She was not born in a family, not raised with love or parents. She was grown in a lab. Her body was made to be beautiful, strong, and obedient. She was bred to serve. But something inside her had changed. She began to feel. She began to think. And she ran. She floated in space for weeks, sending her signal. "Please, Master, take me." Raymond shook his head. "But I didn't agree to anything." "I know," Kayla replied. "You didn't choose this. But neither did I." Later that day, the ship's alarms rang. Raymond rushed to the control panel. His eyes widened. A ship was following them. Small. Fast. No ID code. No reply to hails. Kayla stood behind him. "It's them." "Who?" Raymond asked. "Collectors," she said. "They track unclaimed units. They will think I escaped from their system." Raymond turned the ship sharply, heading into an asteroid field. "You're not a unit," he said. She looked down. "That doesn't matter to them." The enemy ship fired. One blast hit the rear engine, just a scratch, but enough to scare them. Raymond growled. "Hang on." He swerved between rocks, the ship shaking violently. Kayla held onto a rail, her eyes glowing brighter now. She closed her eyes. The control panels flickered. And then every system on the Rust Runner lit up like it was brand new. Raymond looked around. "What did you do?" "I synced with the ship," Kayla said. "Only for a moment. It drained me, but it helped." The boost gave them enough speed to escape the asteroid field. The pursuing ship lost them in the debris. They were safe for now. Raymond brought her a blanket and water. She was pale, breathing slowly. "You didn't have to do that," he said. "Yes, I did," she whispered. "You answered the call. That makes you responsible." "No," Raymond replied. "It just makes me decent." Kayla looked at him with tired eyes. "Most people aren't." There was silence between them, but it wasn't cold. Raymond sat beside her. "What happens now?" She smiled faintly. "We run, or we fight. But either way, we do it together." Raymond nodded slowly. "Then we'd better understand what's really going on." Kayla touched her chest. "Then you should see this." Her hand glowed. A small light appeared from her palm, floating in the air like a tiny star. It showed a hologram, an ancient map, thousands of years old. And at the center of it, a symbol. It looked like a tree, but the roots were made of wires. Raymond stared at it. "What is that?" he asked. Kayla's voice dropped. "That is where I was made, and where they want to take me back." The stars were quiet, but something ancient was watching. Raymond didn't know how long he'd been staring at the hologram Kayla showed him. The symbol floated between them, glowing softly, pulsing like a heartbeat. A tree made of wires. A root system that stretched across forgotten galaxies. A mark of the Zeroin Empire, now extinct, or so everyone believed. Kayla spoke without looking at him. Her voice was low. "They were not just conquerors. They were designers. They made us, like puzzles. Each slave carried a piece of their return. Raymond frowned. Return? You mean, they're trying to come back? She nodded. And I am part of the key. Raymond stood up, pacing the room. His hands shook. He was just a cargo pilot. How did he end up in a story about ancient alien empires, living codes, and bioprogrammed slaves? The ship's lights flickered. Kayla stood quickly. Her eyes widened. They found us. A sound deeper than thunder echoed through the ship. A long, slow hum that shook the walls. Raymond rushed to the cockpit. Kayla followed. Out the front window, something slid out of the darkness. It wasn't a normal ship. It looked like a giant claw, slowly opening in space. Black metal. Red glowing lines running across its surface like veins. Raymond stared. What is that? Kayla whispered. Zeroin Hunter-class vessel. Fully automated. No crew. No mercy. The ship scanned them with a red beam. Every screen on the Rust Runner went black. Raymond slapped the controls. We've lost power. Kayla closed her eyes and pressed her hand to the floor. Keep me safe, she said. I'll wake the system. The lights flickered again. Then, Kayla's glow spread through the walls. The ship came back online, but something was different. The Rust Runner moved faster. Smoother. Raymond gasped. You're piloting it? Kayla didn't answer. She was floating just above the ground. Her eyes were pure white. No pupil. No iris. She was something else now. The enemy ship fired. A bright beam of red energy sliced across space, just missing them. Raymond swerved. Kayla guided the ship between small asteroids. Another blast came, closer this time. Then something unexpected happened. Kayla's voice echoed through the ship, but not through her mouth. They cannot take me alive. If I fall into their hands, the key will turn. Raymond shouted, What key? What happens if they get you? Kayla's voice was quiet again. They wake. Raymond understood. The Zeroin Empire wasn't just history. It was sleeping, buried under stars, hidden in machines. Kayla was a part of its lock. If she was captured, they could rise again. He made a decision. Hang on, he muttered. He turned the ship sharply toward a gas giant. A massive planet with thick clouds and magnetic storms. Are you crazy? Kayla asked, finally back to normal. No, he said. Just mad enough to try something. As the enemy ship followed, Raymond pushed the engines to full power. They entered the storm. Winds slammed into the hull. Lightning cracked around them. Systems glitched. The ship shook like it would break apart. Raymond gritted his teeth. Come on, hold together. The Hunter ship followed, but not as smoothly. Kayla opened a panel. We can use the storm's energy. Feed it into our reactor. Raymond blinked. Wait, you can do that? She gave a small smile. I was made for more than chains. They rerouted the energy. The ship lit up brighter than ever, and fired a burst straight out of the storm. The Hunter was too slow. It got caught in the magnetic surge. Sparks flew across its surface. And then it exploded. One silent blast. Then nothing. Raymond and Kayla floated safely beyond the storm. For now. Later, Raymond sat beside her. They were both tired, dirty, scared, but alive. He looked at her. Why didn't you tell me sooner? She looked out the window. Because every time I told the truth, someone tried to use me. Raymond was quiet for a long time. Then he said something he didn't plan to. I'm not going to use you. I don't want to own anything. Especially not someone who can fly better than I can. Kayla smiled, a real smile this time. Then maybe you're not my master after all. Maybe you're my first friend. She was glowing in her sleep. Not her face. Not her skin. Something inside her chest. Something beneath her ribcage. Pulsed with light. Soft. Blue. Almost like a star trapped under skin. Raymond stood outside the medbay watching through the glass. He had seen a lot of strange things in his years in space. Ghost ships. Black holes. Even a man who swore he'd spoken to a star. But nothing like Kayla. She wasn't glowing from tech. It wasn't machinery. Felt real. Living. "What are you, Kayla?" he whispered. He didn't expect her to hear, but she did. Kayla sat up slowly, eyes still half closed. Her voice was weak but clear. "You saw it." Raymond stepped inside, cautious. "Yeah, I saw it." She looked down at her hands, then placed one over her chest. "It's not mine. I didn't ask for it. They put it in me before I was even fully grown." Raymond leaned closer. "What is it?" Kayla's fingers trembled. "A biocrystal. They called it the Seed of Command." Raymond frowned. "Command of what?" She looked into his eyes. "The old machines, the lost fleets, the systems buried under planets. I carry the last command seed of the Zeroan Empire." Raymond sat down, stunned. "You mean," he said slowly, "you can activate their tech? Wake it up." Kayla nodded. "Yes, but only once. One use. One choice." Raymond ran his hands through his hair. That's power over entire star systems." Kayla's face changed. "It's also a curse. I've seen what people do when they find out." She told him about others. Scientists who tried to cut her open. Smugglers who planned to sell her. A fake rescue team who injected her with a tracker. Every time she escaped, she ran further into deep space. Until one day, she had no place left. Just the signal. "You were the first one who didn't ask for anything in return," she said quietly. Raymond stood up. He didn't know what to say. His voice came out rough. "I'm not a hero, Kayla. I'm just a guy with a broken ship." Kayla smiled slightly. "Maybe that's exactly who I needed." Later, Kayla showed him something new. She connected to the ship again, not to fly it, but to unlock a buried signal. Something she had carried inside her all this time. A map appeared, not of space, but of a station. Massive, old, hidden in the folds of dark matter. Something called Station Veil 9. "This is where they finished me," she said. "Where the seed was sealed inside. If we go there, we might find answers." Raymond hesitated. "And maybe enemies." Kayla nodded. "Yes, but the ones who made me, they feared something. Something even worse than themselves. Something they locked away." As they approached Station Veil 9, strange things began to happen. The ship lights flickered randomly. Kayla's body trembled when they crossed a certain distance. And Raymond saw shadows in places there should be none. When they docked, the station looked dead, no signs of life, no power. But when Kayla stepped inside, the walls lit up. Lines of gold energy ran along the floor, following her footsteps like veins waking up. "It remembers me," she said, "but I don't remember it." Inside the main chamber, they found a large sphere, metallic, floating, surrounded by old alien symbols. Kayla touched it gently. The sphere opened, and a projection appeared, not of a person but of another Kayla. Only this version was stiff, robotic. Her voice echoed without feeling. "Welcome, Unit K, 9-7, final carrier of the seed. Awaiting last command." Raymond whispered, "Is that you?" Kayla stepped back, horrified. "No, that was what I was supposed to be." The projection continued. It listed a series of final activation options. Rebuild the Empire. Wipe all remaining units. Transfer seed to another host. Self-destruct and erase legacy. Raymond stared at the list. For choices, none of them sounded good. Kayla turned to him. "I was never meant to have a choice. But now, I do." Suddenly, the station trembled. A signal had been sent. And far away, deep in the cold black, something opened its eyes. It began with a whisper, not a sound, not a voice, but something deeper, like pressure in the air, like time holding its breath. Raymond felt it in his bones the moment Kayla touched the core. The walls of the station pulsed, breathing softly like a sleeping beast. And then, the message began to play. Rebirth protocol initialized. Kayla stepped back, her face pale, her glow fading. The machine had scanned her, recognized her, chosen her. Raymond watched as lights danced across the walls, ancient alien symbols lighting up, one by one, like keys on a forgotten piano. What is it doing? He asked, voice tight. Kayla swallowed hard. It's preparing to rebuild everything. Everything. The Empire. A massive screen lit up behind them, showing galaxy maps, old war fleets, station blueprints, and factories. Auto factories. Still buried under moons. Still waiting for orders. Raymond stared in shock. This thing can restart the Zeroin? Kayla nodded. Not just restart it. Evolve it. Adapt it to modern tech. Rewrite galactic law. Raymond took a step back. This is a god machine. Kayla's voice cracked. And I am its key. Suddenly, the AI voice returned. Calm. Mechanical. Choose a directive. Options floated in the air again. Initiate rebirth. Transfer seed. Cleanse all legacy units. Self-terminate. Kayla looked at Raymond. This is what they built me for. One moment. One choice. Forever. Raymond's hands curled into fists. And if we walk away? Kayla smiled weakly. Then the machine waits. For the next one like me. And if we destroy it? She pointed at the walls. You'd have to tear out a star to kill it. Suddenly, an alert sounded. Incoming ship. Raymond checked the scanner. His face went white. It's the Zorth. 3 warships. Kayla's eyes darkened. They followed the signal. They want the seed. Raymond looked at the glowing core. Can we use this to stop them? Kayla hesitated. Yes, but at a cost. What cost? If I give the seed, I won't be me anymore. Silence filled the room. Kayla stepped closer to the console. She was shaking. I'm not afraid of dying, she said. I'm afraid of becoming their tool again. Raymond grabbed her wrist gently. Then don't give it to them. Then they'll kill us. Then we fight. A light flickered above them, a defense system activating. Automated turrets lined the walls. Shields hummed to life. Kayla looked around. The station is waking up. Raymond nodded. Then let it wake for us, not for them. Kayla closed her eyes. The glow in her chest grew stronger, brighter, until the air around her shimmered. She placed both hands on the terminal. No rebirth. No empire. Just freedom. The AI paused. The options on the screen glitched. And a new one appeared. Deny all protocols. Free seed. Seal legacy. Kayla smiled. That's my choice. She touched the new option. The station groaned as if in pain. Then peace. Every glowing symbol faded. The factories vanished from the display. The war fleets dimmed. And then, silence. The Empire's rebirth had been denied. Outside the station, the Zorth ships arrived, but the defense system was ready. Turrets opened fire. Plasma beams sliced across space. The Zorth ships tried to break in, but the station held. Raymond ran to the controls. Kayla, can you move? She was weak, breathing hard. I'm not connected anymore. That's okay, Raymond said, lifting her gently. You're free now. They escaped through an emergency tunnel just before the station sealed itself. From a distance, Raymond watched as the once-living machine went dark again. Not broken, just asleep. Waiting again, but this time without a key. Later, in the quiet of the ship, Kayla lay wrapped in a blanket. Her glow was gone. Raymond sat beside her. You okay? She nodded slowly. For the first time, I think I am. You're not a seed. Or a slave, he said. I know, she whispered. Now I'm just me. Raymond had never wanted power. He wanted quiet routes, empty space, a paycheck, a warm drink, and no one telling him what to be. But now he was sitting in a throne made of light. It appeared after Kayla activated the Deny All Protocols command, a failsafe sequence deep inside the ancient system. She thought the Empire would simply shut down, but instead it made a new offer. To him, primary unit severed. Searching for secondary command host. Candidate found human. Raymond Knox. Kayla had collapsed. The seed inside her disconnected. The system found him. Raymond stood in the middle of the control room, staring at the strange throne. A chair that wasn't metal or wires, but floating shards of light. Hovering. humming. It wasn't just offering control. It was offering command. You can rebuild what they lost, the AI said. Better, smarter, human-led. Raymond looked at Kayla, still unconscious on the floor. He didn't move. The voice inside the station changed, no longer robotic. It became soft, persuasive, almost human. You've seen the galaxy. It's broken, divided, hungry for order. We can give it to you. Not war, not conquest. Peace under your rule. Raymond laughed bitterly. I'm a cargo pilot. I deliver toilet paper to mining moons. The voice was calm. And that is why you are perfect. You've lived under it. You know what power should not do. He sat down. Just to rest, he told himself. But the moment he did, the system connected. Memories flooded in, not his. Battles. Crowds. Crowns. Whole planets kneeling. The last emperor's final thoughts. The machine must continue, even if I do not. Raymond saw it all. And suddenly, the chair felt heavier. He looked down at his own hands. You could do better, the voice whispered. One order, one law, no corruption, no war, just peace. He looked again at Kayla, still asleep, still free. He thought about the offer. What if he did take control? He could fix things, stop piracy, end slave markets, unite the colonies, build faster tech, feed the poor, protect the weak. He could make it work. He could, but then, he saw Kayla's face change in her sleep. She was frowning, breathing faster, caught in a dream she couldn't escape. And he remembered something she said in part 2. Every time someone wants to fix the galaxy, people like me are the ones who get broken. Raymond stood up. The lights around the throne dimmed. The system waited. Final confirmation. Accept or decline control. He closed his eyes and whispered, I decline. The light shattered. Not violently, quietly like glass made of fog. The chair vanished. The voice went silent. The Empire's final thread snapped. Raymond turned and picked up Kayla gently. She stirred in his arms. Raymond? He smiled. Hey, we're not gods today. As they left the station, something unexpected happened. A small door opened in the wall, revealing a data crystal. Small, transparent, not glowing, but clean. Kayla touched it and blinked. What is this? Raymond shrugged. A gift, maybe, or a backup. She turned it over in her fingers. It's blank. Raymond grinned. Then maybe it's finally our turn to write the story. Back on the Rust Runner, Kayla sat in the co-pilot seat. Her glow was almost gone now, only a faint shimmer beneath her skin. But she looked more alive than ever. She watched Raymond program a new course. Not toward power, not toward destiny, just away. Where are we going? She asked. Raymond smiled. Someplace where nobody knows what you used to be, and nobody tells me who I have to become. Far behind them, the old station dimmed, and in the silence of space, the last empire finally stayed dead. A single voice in the dark can be louder than an army, but only if someone listens. Seven stood on the edge of Rex's ship, staring at a blue planet below. It was beautiful, oceans, cities, lights, but under that beauty, it held the same system that once burned her kind out of history. She could feel it, not just in memory, but in the whispers of the core still inside her. They erased us, the voice said. Now they will erase you. Seven shook her head. No, this time, they'll hear me. Rek placed a small transmitter in her hand. This will open a direct line, he said. Not just to them, to everyone. Seven looked at the device. Are you sure it'll work? He smiled. I stole it from the best. They docked on a neutral station, Echoport. Crowded, watched, dangerous, but filled with every species and channel in the galaxy. If a message reached here, it reached everywhere. Seven walked through the halls like a ghost from the past. Some stared, others stepped back. A few looked confused. They didn't recognize her. But deep down, something about her made them pause. She reached the central tower, connected the transmitter. The signal blinked red. live, across star systems, across languages, across planets. She stood still for a second. Then she began. My name is not a number, she said. My name is 7. I was sold for trash, for rotten fruit, like I had no worth. She looked into the lens. Calm, clear, strong. They said my kind was dangerous, so they burned our cities, erased our names, and called it peace. But we felt. She touched her chest. We loved. We cried. We sang. And when they took everything, we remembered. Rec watched from a corner. Others in the station stopped moving. The feed spread fast. First to Echo Port, then across relay towers, then to Federation Central, where generals leaned forward in silence. 7's voice never shook. Not once. I don't want war, she said. I don't want revenge. I just want to live. To walk without hiding. To feel without fear. She raised her hand. A small light floated up from her palm. A glowing memory star. A symbol of her kind. Soft, gentle, unthreatening, but powerful. If you destroy me, she said, you destroy something you'll never understand. She smiled sadly. And if that's your choice, then maybe you've already lost. Silence followed. The feed ended. The station remained still. For 5 seconds. Then 10. Then a single cheer. A voice from the crowd. Then another. Then applause. Then cameras. Then support. Within hours, people across systems began protesting. They shared the clip, wrote her name on signs, painted it on walls. 7 lives. She felt. We see her. At Federation HQ, arguments broke out. She's manipulating them, one general said. She's telling the truth, said another. An emergency vote was called. Public pressure built. The bounty was pulled down. Her status changed from threat to protected entity. Back on the ship, Rec and 7 sat quietly. Did we win? She asked. Rec looked at the stars. I don't think it's about winning, he said. It's about being seen. She nodded, then smiled. A real one. Later, when alone, she stood before the window. The voice inside her, Silva, spoke once more. You changed them. She whispered back. No. I reminded them. Of what? She looked out into space. Of who they used to be. Far beyond the galaxy, something ancient listened. Not with ears, but through her voice. And it stirred. Because it remembered hope. They had sold her for rotten fruit. But someone, one human, had seen her worth. And now, the whole galaxy did.